What's up everybody, and thank you for joining me for another video. My name is Whack4863, but you can call me Whack. In this video, I'm going to show you every location that you can find a tier 4 thrall in the city of Sepermaru. In the recent Neebs episode, we started in that city, and we were lucky enough to find a couple of named thralls in the city before we left to head back to the base. Now for this video, I have installed a mod, tier 4 thralls always spawn, and if you want more information about that mod, I will link the store page in the description of this video so you can get over and check that out. This mod makes it so that every spot that has the ability to spawn a tier 4 thrall will actually spawn it. Now there's one caveat to this video: anytime you see a captain spawn in a location, that can't actually happen in the vanilla style of the game. You are only going to see that thrall if you have this mod installed. For those of you that aren't familiar with Sepermaru, it is in A and B and 6 and 7. It spans a large portion of those areas. This is one location that you can come and not aggro everything in the area. There are pockets inside Sepermaru that will aggro on you on site, but for the most part, this is a very neutral area that you can come and look for tier 4 thralls, and they will not attack you on site. And if you follow along with my path, you'll easily be able to find all these different locations. We're going to start right down here in 6B and work our way through the gates and up to the back side of this area into West Wall, and then we'll work through the other side. Starting right out, coming out the gate, we have an archer or fighter spawn here. If we head up and over to the right here, you'll find a taskmaster spawn here. Working our way inside, you'll find another archer spawn here. And as I said, there's actually a captain spawned in here, but this could also be an archer spawn. Working our way further in, we have a few more spots where named thralls can spawn. There's another taskmaster here. There is another taskmaster here. And there is a smelter here. Now these can be different thralls that spawn in this area, so just because it's a taskmaster and a smelter in these locations, that doesn't mean it's always going to be a taskmaster or a smelter. You may find a carpenter in this area as well. Moving along, we should find a couple more here. We have a performer there and an edgesmith there. The edgesmith is actually one of the thralls that we found in the Neebs episode. I initially forgot to record this spot, so I'm coming back and adding it in later, but we are next to the 2 crafter spawns there. I'll show you where we're at on the map exactly, right there. And you just want to look for the largest building. We're going to cross the water. We do have an alchemist spawn there, and then if we head across the bridge and down to the right, this is where you're actually going to learn the snake dance, and there is a single cook location right here. Moving on, we should have a archer or fighter here, an archer or a fighter here, and then we should have alchemists in all these locations. Again, remember, they only have the chance to spawn in these locations without this mod. If we head back here, we should find another performer and a couple of archer or fighter locations. Moving on, we'll have an archer location here, and another location for a named crafter here. If we move back here, we should have another taskmaster there, and archer or fighter spawns next to it. We're actually going to backtrack just a little bit to this spot over here, and there should be a smelter location there, and then there's actually a tanner there. We're going to continue on. These would all be archers or fighters. This would be an archer or a fighter. And then if we get to this guy, this should be a named spot as well. In this case, he's a cook. Continuing on, this would be an archer or a fighter. This out here would be an archer or a fighter. Let's see if we can get up there. That is a fighter right now. And again, you're not going to see the captain unless you have this mod installed. We have another location for a crafter here. This time it's a performer. And then if we head in here, we should find another location right there, a location for a performer right there, and over here we actually have a location for a priest. If we move into the actual west wall section where the Wheel of Pain is, we should see some named location for the Taskmasters. So one there, and there should be one on the other side, one there. These would be fighters or archers, and they do block the way unless you fight them, but you can just jump over and climb over the other side. Looks like we have a performer here, and then we should have another location for crafter here. Moving on from this location, I'll head over here. This is another crafter spawn. So we ran from here all the way down this direction, and we've ended up on the other side. We're now going to come out, swing around this way, and work our way back towards this mark right here. So we're going to head out this way, come around this way. Those spots are all going to be archers or fighters. We're going to head up this ramp here, and normally there's a guy that's walking around this section. Sometimes he's here, sometimes he's actually walking up in this area. So keep an eye out for one roaming around. But we have another couple of archer or fighter locations there. And if we continue down this way, we actually have an event, so I'm gonna have to deal with that event before I get any of the rest of these guys to spawn. If you happen to come across this event and you see the Stormsick Warrior with the yellow bar around their health bar, that is basically a Delincia Snow Hunter, and all of the Stormsick can be knocked out. But the yellow bar is considered named, where the non-yellow bar is not considered named, and they are going to have lower stats, knocking out the ones that don't have the yellow bar. If you find a yellow bar that is a male, it actually is a clone of the Sumerian Berserker. So we left off right here with these two fighter and archer spawns. We'll continue down this way so that you can see what else spawns down here. We have an archer or fighter spawn, and then we have a crafter spawn. If we move over here, we're going to have two alchemist spawns there, and then this should be an archer or a fighter. Just so you could see where we're on the map and give you some reference to our current location. There's a spot that I've shown in previous videos, but you may not have seen it. And it happens to be right up here. You have to climb up there to get to it, but it's actually going to have a sorcerer location. And this guy is secluded, so it's a decent spot to come up, kill the sorcerer, and get the loot that they drop. It can also be named in this location. To continue on, we're going to start from this gate right down here. And we have an archer or fighter spawn there and there. And then we have the only bearer spawn in Sepermaru, and it can be named. Now, I told you that there was areas where aggro could happen. This area right down here with the plunderers is actually an area that will cause immediate aggro. We're going to turn around and head back this direction so that I can show you another area where you will have immediate aggro. This area right over here, again with the plunderers, is going to have instant aggro. But there is an alchemist spawn location right here. Continuing towards the bar where Conan is, that's the bar right there. Behind the bar, there is a couple of spots on the docks. There's one there for a crafter. There's another one here for a crafter. Go ahead and pick up the flotsam while you're there. And then if we go out to this little island, there is a lone fisherman who is a cook right there. From in front Conan's bar, we have a few archer and fighter locations right out front. And then if we go in the bar, there's actually no names that can spawn in here. You can see these guys are all going to be lower level, so up to tier 3 dancers in here. If we head directly out the bar and towards this gate, we'll see a couple of crafter spawns here. And then we're going actually out and back in through the farther gate here, because there's a little area where you can actually find some more of the named crafters over here. So if we head right over here, we have a named performer there and a named taskmaster there. These spots can be any crafters. Over here, I believe it's just all archers and fighters. But if we climb up here, we'll actually find some named performer locations. So now that we're to the top, we have a named performer there, a named performer there, and there should be one more walking around this area that has the ability to be a named performer. A couple of archer fighter spots there, and then a performer there. We're going to head back over towards Conan's bar, just right in here. You can see the bar there. We're going to head up this ramp here, and this is where you're going to find a lot of named priest spawn locations. So 2 there, and then if we continue on, there's actually 3 spawn locations here for named priests. 1, 2, and 3. We can also find a named alchemist here. And if we run right out here, we have a named crafter location. Heading from that named crafter in towards the other building, we should have a performer location here, right there. And if we jump over this, a couple more named sorcerer spots. Heading out from there and down this direction, we have named spots for blacksmiths here and here. And continuing on, we have a named spot for an armorer. These are all going to be archers or fighters. But if we come back around and go down below, we'll find some more named archers and fighter spawns here and here, one up there. And then heading down into this lower section, we're actually going to find a couple of blacksmith spots here. Those can both be named. And then a couple of carpenter spots here and here. Continuing on from there and towards Conan's bar, we have another performer spot there, a cook spot here, and we have returned to the area of Conan's bar. And that's going to wrap it up for the locations to find the named crafters around Sepermaru. And that really is what I come up here for. There's just so many spots in such a small area to check and see if someone spawned there. Now, if you ever want to refresh the spawn location and try to get something else to spawn there, you simply need to kill the NPC that's in that location and wait for the respawn. That's how you're going to effectively change the pool of what is spawning in that location. The spawn rates for named thralls is very low, so they are highly sought after, and it can be very difficult to come across the one that you want. Don't forget to whack the like button on your way out, and let me know in the comment section below what's your favorite location to go thrall hunting. I'd like to thank all my YouTube members for their continued support. Y'all are absolute legends. If you'd like more information about becoming a YouTube supporter, click the join button below this video. You can join for as low as $1.99 a month.